like C Y Gopinath Mark I am a writer of non-fiction, although most of my readers think that my work is entirely fiction. I therefore have often faced exactly the same dilemma that Gopinath faced on being asked to produce his first work of fiction. For while it's easy to be satirical and polemical and topical, how does one write dialogue? How does one describe the environments, the setting of the scene, all of that? But I don't believe I have the talent, despite the fact that I am at present both unemployed and unemployable, therefore have all the time in the world to write. I'm not quite sure where to begin and where to end, and how to sufficiently disguise my characters for everyone to recognize who they are and to protect myself from libel. So I don't really know how to do this at all. So I am encouraged to some extent that somebody who was in the same craft, as it were, as me, has succeeded in crossing this impossible divide and moving from fiction to from non-fiction to fiction. And he's done it quite extraordinarily well. And to prove my point rather than label it, let me read to you a passage that I came across when I opened the book completely at random. When we were trying to look for it now, it took us about 20 minutes to find it. So it is just the hand of God, or perhaps the book of answers, which made me open this particular page. And I was totally struck by the quality of this writing, and can't believe that it's somebody who was a journalist and therefore a bad writer who is capable of producing prose of this kind. Let me share it with you, although that will perhaps be a matter of preempting poor Sunil, who's waiting here to do the job which I'm attempting to do on his behalf. It's the chapter called The Matter with Rose, who is the girl whom the I in this novel gets married to, or attempts to get married to, or is sought to be married to. She's the principal female character in this novel. And I just opened it at this chapter called The Matter with Rose, and the first two paragraphs read as follows. The doctor of venereal diseases was a morose fellow by the name of Bintimkar, which he must have regretted almost more than the vitiligo that bleached his lips and half his face. He had the fatalistic look of a person who knew that no matter what he did, his clients were doomed. When his patients revealed that they were insolvent, usually just after he'd written out their prescriptions, he would sigh and treat them anyway. The bright orange dot on his forehead proclaimed that as a card-carrying Hindu, he believed through penance in life he would earn his just rewards in the next. Rose tells me for this reason many thought of him as kind-hearted. He was sought out by a steady stream of Nepali prostitutes who were continually ill but could pay him nothing. A dozen or so of them sat sniffling on the beach along the wall, some smoking, some carrying listless infants. The picture is complete. His clinic was a municipal unit that could just as easily have been a garage or a provision store. It stood without fuss along one of the skeptical alleys of Kamatipura. Skeptical alleys of Kamatipura, Mumbai's red light district, a swarm with the city's twilight people, drifting in and out of brief relationships. What a line! Men looking for a few parenthetical minutes in the arms of some woman who had lost everything as a child. Auto rickshaw drivers with kerchiefs under their collars, chewing pan and scanning passing faces for a customer who needs more than a ride home. Daytime children of evening mothers who only stirred to life around sunset. And ramshackle clinics such as Dim Timker's, where nothing can remain secret for long. Climb 3 steps and you enter a waiting room about 15 feet square, permeated by a bouquet, equal parts urine, Dettol, and stale jasmine. A lurid green curtain divided the remaining space into 2 functional areas. A doctor's cubicle, no larger than 2 phone booths, and an examination room. The latter was a barely confidential enclosure guarded by a plastic shower curtain. A wall-mounted fan destroyed privacy every few seconds with a blast of air that lifted the partition up like Marilyn Monroe's white prison skirt. Within, Dim Ticker would be visible, peering heroically at someone's privates while his assistant shone a torch. All case histories were fully audible to the waiting indisposed. Dim Timker liked to remind his clients that they could expect no better for free. Now, isn't this an absolute masterpiece? Written by someone who has apparently never written fiction before, but is able to do it precisely because he spent a lifetime writing about facts. And the eye that he has is of an observer trained to look. And therefore, you get every single detail. The skeptical alley, the parenthetical minutes, the auto rickshaw driver who's scanning passing faces for a customer who needs more than a ride home, the daytime children of evening mothers. Everything is told in that little phrase. And then he talks of the bouquet, which I don't think I could possibly repeat in good company. And then the lurid green curtain, it immediately conjures up the picture that we're looking for. And then the wall-mounted fan that destroys privacy every few seconds. You can see it sort of moving in this direction, coming back here, and lifting the curtain like Marilyn Monroe's white pleated screen. And then everyone listening in to the miseries of someone else, knowing that that misery is but a reflection of the misery that they themselves are going through. I don't think a fiction writer has ever written fiction better. My heartiest congratulations to you, Gopinath.